Welcome back to the channel. We got parts on the seat. Our first problem with the Cub Cadet. I rebuilt this engine a little bit over a year ago. I think it's been about 14 months. And this is a Z-Force SX60. I don't know if it's a commercial rated, but it's got the fabricated deck. And it's got the twin tanks, the steering wheel model. I love it. Not much damage on it. Had a little dent in that, little rubber cover, plastic cover, and the belt guards were missing. I can probably order some. Not a big deal. And there's a little tear in the seat somewhere. Right there. It's a little tear in the seat. And I bought it, almost sight unseen. I told the guy he's way out of town. Quite a ways I went. I think it was a 2.5 hour ride to pick it up. And I said, man, I got to get that. He had a little video and some pictures of it. It had a 3-bin bagger. And the machine, it looked super shiny. It's filthy now because I've been using it. And then it smoked, so we rebuilt the engine. And the end gap is the problem. It was a huge ring end gap, so it was just blowing through oil. It's a Kawasaki FR730, the 24 horse. Had a pretty new battery in it. And I couldn't find anything wrong with it. Tires looked new. The paint wasn't scratched. I think it had a little footwear right here where you set your left foot. And then I could not find anything wrong with it. So I couldn't work with the guy, but for $1,200, I said, I will take it. And so I ran right out and got it. Rebuilt the engine. It ran good. We did it all season. It worked all great in the fall because we got 1,000 trees here. Huge amount of leaves. Just leaf picking every day if you want to do it. And so the bagger worked great. I just was mowing. And I shouldn't say just mowing. I mowed last night and it rained. The sun was out. I mowed about half the lawn and suddenly it got real dark. And I thought, that's weird. Well, it was a downpour. I was way down the drive, way down there, and I flew up here quick as I can. I got soaked, but the engine got wet. Now, that's a key right there. The engine got wet. I put it away, but because I shut the mower deck off right away, I thought, well, nothing's wrong. Well, I fired it up today, and I went to mow, and it has no power. After I rebuilt the engine, I installed this cheap little tachometer hour meter, and I've only got 26 hours on it since I rebuilt the engine. So that's how fast it mows our lawn now. You can mow it in 40 minutes if you want to fly. And this thing moves as fast as you want to go. She'll mow it. And the blades were pretty new on it. The spindles, everything looks fine. It has no power. So let me have you listen to this. See if she'll fire up. And she won't because I didn't lock the brake. Hold on. So I locked the brake. See if she fires at idle. Everything's off. Sounds pretty good, don't it? No, it don't. Let's see if she revs up. I couldn't get it to rev over. That's wide open. 1500. She's supposed to rev up to 3,600. I don't mow quite that much. I usually stop around 3,200. I can't get it to rev up. So right away, when I put the blades on and I'm mowing, it just bogs right down and I got to go slow. Well, that was annoying, but I finished. I knew there's an issue. It wasn't smoking. And I said, well, I'll tend to it. Well, now we're tending to it. So, like I said, before I start every time, you check your fuel, you check your oil. Everything's fine. Blades are clear. Everything's good. Belts look good. Fired up and, I backed out. It sounded all right like it does now. Well, just when you put it under load, you have no power. So right away, is it fuel? Is it spark? Is it compression? So because it's not using any oil and I got 26 hours on it, since the rebuild, then, spark or fuel. Well, fuel usually goes to crap, But it's easier for me, instead of tearing things apart, just to pull a plug wire. So let's pull, I don't know which one's cylinder 1. But we'll pull a plug here, and I did loosen it up. We'll set that off, and we'll fire it up. That doesn't sound any different to me. Okay, so I'll shut it back off so I don't hurt my fingers. I'll put this plug back on, plug wire. We'll come over to this side, and we'll do the same thing. I loosen them a little bit so I can get them off. Set it aside, and we'll fire it up again. No, we won't. So what's that tell you, right? That tells me that this side of the engine is dead. The other way we can tell is you can get out the infrared, the temperature thermometer, and put it right down on the cylinder head or the exhaust right there, which we can do while it's running. And if a cylinder isn't firing on that side, you got to skip a miss, no fuel, vacuum leak, no spark, you know, compression loss. It'll be colder on that side than the other side. So this plug is hooked up. It will not start. We put this back on. We need to see if we have spark on this side. It could be compression. It could be compression caused by a stuck valve. It's not filthy in here. There's no, you know, debris buildup to overheat. See what the air filter looks like. Not much on it. I'd like to get the Donaldson one, I think it is called. The big air filter assembly. Pretty expensive, and I can't really afford that. So I'm going to keep blowing this filter off for now. But it's a better filtering system. And then when I see like the valve covers getting a little bit of crud on them, a little dust, I think when it's cool, I'll hose it off again. And then just keep your engine clean and cool. Don't let the debris blow up in here. When I took this apart on the rebuild, there was a lot of crud up in here. And then these two fuel tanks, up inside there was mouse nests. And so, not too concerned with that other than chewing wires. But in here, it'll overheat your cooling fins and blow a head gasket. The head gaskets were good. I took them apart slowly, and that wasn't the problem. But when we did the ring end gap, it was, I don't recall, it was a huge gap. And so the oil's blowing right past it. So it's a cheap fix on that. I'm super happy. I think this is a 2018 model. And what I did, though, maybe the mistake, is I went ahead, well, this is a part, and the coils are all rusty, you know. Well, let's put new coils on. Well, let's be cheap and get aftermarket Amazon. Well, that's a learner. I think from now on, I'm going to try to shy away from the cheap electrical. Especially I should say, if it's a vehicle like that, because I can't have that happen. But this vehicle, you know, is cheap to work on. You take it out 4 bolts, you can get right down in there pretty good. But a part that's like internal, you know, crankshaft sensor, something like that on a truck, I think I'm going to shy away from a Amazon, you know, $8.99 one versus a $57 one. And but in this case, I bought 2 new coils. I believe I installed them proper. It's been running great, a lot of power, and I actually bring the throttle back once the blades are running, because the thing's screaming. And if I don't have tall grass, I cannot see running it wide open if it's not necessary. I bought the New Holland in 1999 or 2000, brand new, and I don't rev the crap out of that. I just run it to what I feel the engine load needs. And the thing's still running great, uses no oil. You know, it's got 26 or 800 hours on it. So usually I take care, just use my, you know, sense on it, say, oh, we don't need to beat the crap out of it. So anyways, let's take a coil, this is the old coil I cleaned up a little bit. Now, you know I'm a pack rat because my garage and everything's all full of crap all the time. See, these were rusted. and you see the rust on them, but they were real bad. And so I put them in the brush wheel and they cleaned up. And so I'm like, well, it's a little better. The wire looks good. It's got the protector on it. I'm not sure if this is the left and right. I believe you can install these both directions, but you want to put the coil wire on the right side so that it reaches. So this one obviously goes in this direction. So this looks like a left side. See, it's coming out the left. And if it was over here, it'd be coming out the right. I'm not sure if you can reverse them. I think someone said that it has to do with a kill wire at the bottom. So let's take this apart. We'll see. But first, what I want to do is I want to take a ground wire and I want to hook this up to a new spark plug. So I put the ground wire or whatever, the wire, onto a metal surface, onto the electrode, not the center electrode, but the ground electrode part, on a new spark plug I had, and then snap the coil wire on. I want to crank it over and see if we got any spark. If we have spark, now it might get a little more expensive. We'll give it a crank. Well, actually, we can't give it a crank. I got to disable because we know it's going to run on this side. So we disable this side and see if we have any spark on this side. Let's see if we got any. See if I can see that. Alright, to confirm, I better move my ground somewhere. It's not a big enough clamp to hook on that, but I would think all this stuff is grounded to the engine block. Let me see what other ground I got. So I ground it right on the battery. I'm on the electrode outside ground. I'm going to let it just sit there, and this is a better ground. I believe the wire is good, so nothing. So now let's move over to the other side. If it sparks on the other side, we know the coil's bad. So it's a little tougher because the wire's shorter, but we got it hooked up on this side. Let's see if we can see the spark. That'll confirm the wire's good, etc. And I can't see it. So let's get in a little bit better. And oh, I got the electrode touching it. Hold on. Not sure this is going to work because the electrode piece is so close. She's sparking like crazy, guys. So I'm going to set it over here quick again. We'll crank her again. We got a dead coil. So that's how I diagnose it anyway. Just to confirm, you got to do both sides. Always confirm your test equipment is okay. And then I have a inline spark tester somewhere. I didn't hunt for it. So that was right in the box. I grabbed it. So what I need to do is, what do we got to do here? We got to pop the air cleaner off. We got 10 millimeter, right? 1, 2, I said a couple, 3, 4. There's 3, 4, right there. 5, 6 bolts. We're going to lift this cover off. We got to pop the AC or the air cleaner off. We got to take the fuel pump, loosen up the Phillips screw, pull that out. And then to get to the coil, I believe we got to pop those Torx. They look like a 25. I don't know. I'll check. And then pop that off to get down there. Then we got to do more, right? We got to pull the flywheel, I think. I just found my second coil and it cleaned it up in the brush wheel. So I'll have the right coil. And then, like I said, I'm going to take out these screws, pull the fuel line away, take out all the 10 mils, take and unhook the hose clamp, one or the other, maybe this one, lift that assembly out, good time to clean it again, pull that shroud, and see how much more we got to go here. I'll probably put you up on time lapse. I did this on a previous video, and so watch along here. Alright, you saw me. Took all the bolts out. You got to have a stubby screwdriver because it'll reach in there. Then you pop this off before you can lift this shroud out. Put my little spinner over here. Pull this up. Now we can check how much debris got in here. And as you can tell, not much. So this is plastic. I don't know why they went plastic. This is a coil not firing. This one has a wire on the top. Wire comes out here and down. So the problem I see right now, well, let's see if it is a problem, is you want a space of like a business card between it. Looks like a big gap there to me. There's a lot of compression here. Look at that. All right, right here's the magnets. Yeah, they stick out farther. Okay, there's about a business card gap. So I did do that right, but we ran, you know, all last season. So what we got to do is cut this little zip tie I put on it. It comes across, it's held down so you don't catch that into there. You don't want that. We're going to pull this wire. That's your kill wire. And then look right here. We got an issue right here, I think. Is there? See this spark plug wire? You don't want to wipe stuff like I just did. But it looks like there was an arc in here of something going on. Maybe it's a bad idea to wire tie it to the spark plug wire. So maybe what I'll do is try to shorten this up and just bring it up without. Because see, that's your ground, that's your spark. You know what I mean? So if it got hot, it might have, remember these are Chinese, might have arced out right there, right to ground. There's no crack in it, but there's a mark on it. So I think I'll probably not do that. That one's running fine, we know. There's not much debris in there to heat up the cylinder head, so I don't have to be concerned with that. These are 10 millimeter. I got to grab a piece of cardboard or business card, put in there. I use Dawson's business card, right? Put in there and take this out, cut that, and then the problem with this is we got our tachometer wire on there also. That reads every time that cylinder fires the RPM. So you're supposed to wrap it around a certain number. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure if they're totally accurate, but I believe they go on just one spark plug. Every time that fires, that's a revolution, right? So I can see the spark plug down through the fins of the head. It looks nice and clean. And so we're just going to pull this coil off. I think I'll grab some snips. Be just a second. Tiger's out here again. He had to go in, get a snack, come back out. He's getting like squirrel. Squirrel likes, he likes to have his munchies. So now I don't think we need this again. We'll take this ground wire out. We said we're wrapped around this coil wire 5 revolutions, and then it's got a zip tie. And then I just must have had extra. I just threw some tape on it. And I ran it up through to there so I could see it while I'm, you know, driving. We'll clip that. I have tried to reuse these before, and you can kind of squeeze that little lever if it's worth monkeying with. But we got some cheap ones here we had bought. So we got 5 revolutions. I think I said 5 to 7. I can't remember. I got to find the directions, but we'll probably do 5 again because it worked. And then we'll clip this other one. And then we'll just grab, wherever I set it, we'll grab the ratchet again, zip her down to, you gotta move it down to 10 mil again. And then can I reach it, or do I probably need an extension? So this is going to be an inexpensive repair, like nothing. So because this is 2018, and the man says it hasn't been in the shop for anything, he gave up on it. So my guess is, you know, he had it since 18. He said, that's a, you know, 5-7 year mower. Let's get rid of it. You know, it's not worth fixing. Probably somebody looked at it and said, the rings are bad, you need a motor. You know, you need a whole engine. And he said, no, we're not going to spend $2,000 on it. We'll get rid of it. So I give him 12. I wanted it for $1,000, but he said, no, I'm not moving. So I said, all right, I'll take it. So I spent about not quite 200, I think, on it. Got the rebuild kit, was 100 and something. And I think I did little things to it. I don't remember what. Got that little tachometer. Bought some spark plugs, filter, stuff like that. So here's our coil. Bring it up here. And it looks a little weird. Looks like it's got a hot spot across there. Oh, right there. See the goo running out of it? Overheated. It's really hot, but it overheated. And so we're going to put the original Kawasaki in instead of the China one. I'm going to match it up here to one of these. Let's see. This one is wire on top, wire length. I think this is the one right here. And obviously this looks newer and shinier. But this is the original Kawasaki, and it was running good. It was smoking so bad. I'm like, woo! So let's see if this will reach. If this will come out. Set it there, come out and reach the plug, and it does. So I'll leave that off because I'll probably do the tack, but probably for the video purpose. Well, I better put it on for the video purpose because, like I said, the reason I could tell right away is wide open. I couldn't get it to rev over like 1500 and something, and then you saw it in here. I could rev it up to just 16, so that's half of what it could. So it was so much drag we couldn't get enough RPM. So what I'm going to do is take this piece of cardboard. I changed the oil in something. I saw it in the garage. We'll stick this in there. Start our bolts back by hand. And then we'll zip them down with a little ratchet thing. Our business card spacer's right there between the magnet, so it can't pull any closer. So that's all you got to do. You don't have to mess around with it. And then you got to have clearance. And then the only thing is, if you pull this out and you can't pull it out, or you turn this back and forth and it rubs, move it right away. And we're good instantly. So what I can do is put this on. Should click, right? Kind of sloppy. Probably give it a little squeeze. Bend that tab in slightly. Dawson's not home. He's out golfing with his friend. His friend's a pretty good golfer, and teaching Dawson some moves, I guess. So remember, this was, I don't want it to get caught in anything, but see, it cannot. I mean, this has to be something physical to push it up there. But maybe I should pull it back like this and put one like there just to take up some slack, because you definitely don't want it rubbing on anything. I'll put this on, right? We'll put this on. Let's see, can we run the engine this way? It looks like we can, right? I'm going to leave this wire. See this? This wire is off. And what that's going to do instantly, obviously, is if it starts, we fixed it. Because if it don't start, we still have no spark. Look how simple that is. But you know, being a twin and good compression, because we got new rings, is when you start these, they sound good with one cylinder. Now let's see what it does with 2 cylinders. So this is a cheap fix. Costs $0. Make a video. Try to teach somebody out there that, you know, doesn't know, you know, if they have to take it to the shop or not. And I'm not a pro, but I'm a cheap one, right? I want to fix it myself, but I want to learn something. I like to teach people, if I can teach them something. And let's see what it sounds like on 2 cylinders. Already faster. I got my air filter on backwards just so I don't get jumped on. Yeah, we fixed her, man. Listen to that. See, the sky clouded up, and I said, well, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish mowing. And I only had to mow this side and a little bit over there by Dawson's building, and you know, that's how far I got before it stormed. So, all right, if you were me and you were not, would you go ahead and put the original coil back on, or would you gamble and leave this aftermarket on there? Because you just saw how long it takes to replace them. When I bought this, it ran good, but it smoked so bad. Go back and check the videos. It smoked so bad that Dawson and I were laughing, and we did like a thumbnail of him spinning in a circle, smoking, and it was so bad you couldn't see, and it was funny. And when I went out to test drive it, I said, "Can I fire it up?" He said, "Not in here." It was in the garage. It was a commercial building. He said, "Not in here." And I said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Yeah, it's bad." So we got it outside, fired it up, and I'm like, "Woohoo!" And he said, "Go ahead and ride it." So I rode it. All that smoke went up about 12 feet and went across to the next building. It looked like a building was on fire. And I drove it right up on the trailer. And I gave him the money, didn't argue with him, and said, "Cool." So these are selling for huge money now. This XX60, the woman at Tractor Supply said it's $10,995 or some foolish thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? For a lawnmower? If that's true or not, I think you can buy them from different locations, but through Tractor Supply, it was a huge number, and I said, wow, I guess I got a deal. So anyways, would you replace that coil while we're right here? Or would you say this is a pretty simple job, we can do it if it fails? My guess is I probably should put the original coil back on it, just keep this one for a spare, and definitely throw this in the trash. And like I said, they overheat. And they're just inferior material, you know. Probably the resin isn't as good or something, and it overheated and just melted out and shorted out in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this one off while I'm here. I'll put the original one back in, which is right here. Where'd it go? And this one goes in with the wire on top like that. And I labeled them. Cylinder 1, cylinder 2, when I took them apart. I was going to reuse them, but they were so rusty. So I sanded this, I put them in a brush wheel, and I said, well, I'll just get coils. They look crappy. Well, that's a learner. Don't do that. If you don't need to, don't spend the money. OEM equipment is always the best. If it works, don't buy it. Don't guess. I think they were like 15 something or less than 20 bucks online. And with Prime, you get it free shipping, free returns, you know, it's a no-brainer. We got a little crud up in here, but I think I can clean that with it running, and you know, everything falls down and out. So thanks for watching. If you learned something, you liked it, I did something wrong, throw it in the comment, because I need to learn on this too. And I hope this helped you. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. And I want to grow the channel. I'm putting a lot of effort in it. Not too good on the camera, you can tell, but I do like the teaching part. I like the learning part, because I'm learning as I'm explaining. And like I said, this thing ran so good, I might as well just throw these back on there. So I'll do that off camera, throw this all back together. We've got about a 30-minute project here. I'll clean this air filter. I'll get the compressed air out, clean that air filter, put it back together. While I got the nozzle out, I'll blow this out. Make sure you have no debris in these fins. You'll never blow a head gasket if you keep fresh oil in it. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Kawasaki. Hmm. I'll have to move you. Needs a new filter. I'd like to get a Donaldson one. That'd be cool. I'll price them. Groceries for a week. The hose wouldn't reach. I'm going to change the tachometer later. Do something different. All right. watching. Well, more bonus footage. I was going to try to keep the video short, but my opinion on that is I think you tune into the channel to learn something. And if I don't show everything, I get questions saying, well, why didn't you show that? Well, how come I don't know how to do that now? So why didn't you show it all? So that's my channel. So I don't really like to shorten them. I like to explain what I'm doing. I use zip tie, and I put the tachometer wire around 6 times this time. Snapped it back on. Well, prior to that, I put tape on also. So the tape is over the zip tie. I don't know why. I just felt it's going to stay better. And so that's on. Now what I want to show you, which I shouldn't have cut out, is let's look at the tachometer. I showed you that wide open. Hi, Tig. Got the kitty over there. Tiger. Got all my paint supplies. We're working on the house project here. Let me get you in here where you can see it. Let's confirm that it works. So we got 26.5 hours since the engine rebuild, because I put that on at the same time. That's what I wanted. Let's fire it up. It runs so smooth. Before, the seat was shaking. I had no RPM, no throttle response. It's snappy now. We got 1200 at idle now. I don't know if you can see that. Wide open, I think I set it around 32 or something. That just confirms. Replacing the coil. So I think I'm going to clean that off. I got a little bit of heat. It's on the muffler, but that confirms that replacing the coil, we got the engine back running better. It idles a lot higher than it did, and it revs up from 1600 to 3450 or whatever it was there. So a huge improvement. I didn't want to go, I changed the screws when I rebuilt. I did not want it running at 3600. I just feel that's a little high. I mean, they're rated for that. So I backed it down 34. But when I'm mowing with this, with both cylinders firing properly, I can drop it down to like 28 and cut 5 inches of grass down to, 2.5. And that's an average mowing for this. And it cuts it no problem. So what's coming up here shortly is I'm going to service this. I need to get an air filter. I think I have that same style. If not, if it's economical, I'll buy that one. If it's 20, 30 bucks, there's no sense of buying it. I want to get the commercial style Donaldson type double cartridge filter like the tractor. That's going to last forever. And the inside filter never gets dirty. The outside filter you can clean off or replace more often. We know the spark plugs are in good condition. It's only 26 hours on it from last year. I mow once a week on the average. And the old Craftsman rider I had, the old Husqvarna rider I had, both of them are down the road. This mows over twice as fast. It took me 2.5 hours to mow before. I can do flying without trimming in 20 minutes. It's a little uncomfortable because you're bounce, bounce, bounce. But if I slow down normal, I can get this done in about 30, 35 minutes now comfortably. And so I'm not racking the hours up. It's got 2 tanks of fuel. I didn't even turn this one on this year. That's full. That one, I put gas in once, and I think I mowed 6 times now. So I'm not using any fuel anymore either, for the bigger engine even. And I want to change the oil, change the filter, pressure wash it, do the air filter. I want to check the hydros. I believe this thing has around, well, there's an hour meter. The original hour meter. We got, how do you check? Right there, 469, and we've done 26. So 400 hours. I would say the people probably serviced it at 100 hours. I think they recommend 50 on the first one, something. But everything they had was amazing. The vans, the equipment, the supplies, the tractors, all the different equipment they had as a business was immaculate. He said he didn't ever let the workers bring anything in dirty. You clean them, you wash them. So I think they did a good maintenance on it. But I want to get one of those suctions, I believe. I don't think you can drain these, and suck out the hydros and put in fresh oil of what it calls for. I'm not sure yet. The belts, they look good. The blades I want to sharpen. There is a couple grease fittings. I want to pick up a little Cub Cadet yellow and touch up a couple little rough spots where your foot rests. Just keep it going, you know. I would like to hunt up some headlamps. And right here is a piece of chip paint. Somebody bumped into something. And I'd like to put a couple LED small little baby headlamps on there, because at dusk or driving up in the shed, if you don't turn the light on, you're going to bang into something. And the battery's like new condition. I did just throw this up here. I would like to get a, I don't know what you call it, a chute blocker, but they're probably expensive. I should get a couple covers for the pulleys. Every machine I've ever had, you put a cover on, it's always wound up full of junk. These are not. Neither one get any debris on them. So I don't plan on sticking my foot from the machine down in there. I would imagine some dummy could do that. I would imagine if I mowed commercially for someone, went out and mowed at their home, I'd probably buy them so that, you know, you pass all your OSHA rules, whatever. But I do want to do something with a seat on this and the backhoe. So I might get some of that plastic dip and deal with that. There's a little nick in that one in the back underneath, I think. 2 of them. And then the backhoe has one. I want to wash it. Oh, I do want to get some Cub Cadet white. Touch up the wheels. Air up the tires. I don't know. There's not much to do on this. I just want to keep it going. And so follow along with the channel. We're going to do a little service. I'm going to go out. I did mow just about everything. I missed a couple spots over there. I saw a couple spots down on the lower drive. I didn't do the whole other side of the driveway. It's got some pretty buttercups and other types of flowers, so it's a nice yellow hue coming up through there. And I like the wildness, so I don't like to cut flowers. But I might go down, trim them up a little bit, play around, make sure I got my horsepower back, because this was annoying. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Please like, subscribe, put a comment down there. And I guess if you're not, you know, into my long-winded videos trying to teach, you don't have to subscribe. But if you're interested, keep them coming. Keep the comments coming. Thanks a lot. Happy summer. First day of summer.